All right, we are going to start chapter 6 review. So, as you are going through chapter 6, make sure you're asking questions, make sure you're understanding how to do each of the methods, and this should bring stuff back to you. We had 3 different methods that we used for solving systems of equations long time ago. The first method is graphing. We use graphing when our equations are both in what form? What form are they in right now? What's that called? Yeah. Y equals mx plus b. What's the actual name for that? Slope-intercept form. So y equals, here we go. Y equals mx plus b, or slope-intercept form. Okay? So, how do we do that? How do we do that? We identify our m and our b over here. What is my m in that first equation? -1 over -1 over what number? 1. Remember, anytime we have a whole number, it goes over 1. Okay? That way we can do our rise over our run. If it helps you to remind you that this is what we graph second, write rise over run there. And then we have to graph b before we can do that because we have to have a starting point, right? So b is always our starting point. What's our b, everybody? 2. Okay? So our b is always our y-intercept. So we start graphing that on the graph. So we go up 2 on the y-axis. From there, we're going to do what? Down 1, right 1. Always to the right. Down 1, right 1, put a dot. Down 1, right 1, put a dot. Down 1, right 1. I'm going to just put a bunch of dots to make sure that I've got a nice long line. Okay? You know how well I connect the line on here? You guys should use a straight edge of some sort to connect your lines, because remember, if they connect not in the right spot, you're going to have a wrong answer. Okay? What is, I'm going to change my color. What is my y? What is my y-intercept or my m for the second equation? 1/2. Positive 1/2. So that, again, is my rise over my run. You don't have to write the rise over run, but if it helps you, do it. So that you remember that this is your up or down, and then this is your side to side. My b? 5. So I'm going to 5. 1, 2, 3. I think this is a 5 right here, right? And then I'm going to go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Are they, as I have those dots on there, are they going to cross anywhere yet?
Yeah. Not yet.
What do I need to add? Where are they going to cross? Are they going to cross in this quadrant? No, they're going to cross in this quadrant. So I need to add some points going this way for my red line and going this way for my green line. Right? Because I need them to cross each other. I need to know where they cross each other. So if I need to do that, if I need to go this way, what do I need to do with my rise? I got to go down first and then over 2 to the left. So that would be opposite, because going down and then 2 to the left, they would both be negative, and then a negative divided by a negative would be positive. So it would still be a slope of 1/2. But I'm just going the opposite direction. Make sure that you go 1, make sure you go over 2 when you're going over. Okay, so that would be my red line. I'll attempt to go through all my points. You know how straight I make them. But I'm trying. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more greens. So over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. So now I found where they cross. What was the end there? So this is my answer right here. My answer, remember, has to be written as an ordered pair. So all of this is your work. But I don't have an answer written down yet. I have circled my answer, but I actually need to write my ordered pair. What is my ordered pair going to be? Negative 2, 5. 4. 4. Negative 2, 4 is my answer. Okay? So make sure when you're doing these on your final that you have an ordered pair as an answer. Don't just do all the work and then not write down the answer, because this is your point for your answer. That's your points for your work. Okay? Good, good. Can I move? The second way that we learned was substitution. And substitution happens when I have an x equals or a y equals. So here I have y equals 3x minus 10. And so, where can I put my 3x minus 10 to find out what x is equal to? What? The other side, in this one. In the other, not over here, because this tells me what y is equal to. So I can take this, remember we did this, and we pointed to where we're going to substitute it. Okay? So now I'm going to rewrite my first equation. 4x plus 2y, and I moved over here because I need to also find what my y is eventually, so I'm going to do that over here. So I've got my 4x plus 2y, and then eventually I'm going to need my y equals 3x minus 10 to find out what y is equal to, but first we have to use this one, okay? So we know that y is 3x minus 10. Where is that going to go in this first equation? Next to the 2. I put it in parentheses so that I remember to distribute. And then I find that out. Can you guys do that? So what's your next line going to be? Do that on your paper. All right, you should have distributed here. What did you get? Equals 10. Now I have to solve. What is my first step to solve? 10x. Add my x's. Good. 10x minus 20 equals 10. Add my 20. So I get 10x equals 30. Divide by 10. X equals 3. Fantastic. Now what do I do with that? Plug it into my other equation that says y equals, right? I don't want to plug it back into this equation because there's more math to do. I could, but that would be silly because there's more math to do. This is already y equals. So now I'm going to put that into here. 3, my x is 3, I calculated, minus 10. What's 3 times 3? 9 minus 10 is negative 1. Okay? So then I write my answer. 3 minus 1 is my answer. Your answer has to be an ordered pair. Okay? So that was our second method that we learned to do substitution. Our third method was elimination. And remember, we do the substitution or we do the graphing so that we can find out, actually we do the substitution or the elimination so that we can get x by itself or y by itself, right? The reason that we substituted that y in here for the 3x minus 10 is so that all I had was x's in here. Because I can't solve this when I have x's and y's, right? I can't figure out what x or y is. So I have to get one of them by themselves. And that's what I'm doing with elimination. So with this elimination problem, do either of those cancel easily? X's or y's right now. As it's written, do either of these cancel easily? No. So I need to figure out what number needs to be in front, or what my coefficient needs to be for either my x's or my y's. Does it matter which one I get rid of? Can I get rid of either my x's first or my y's first? Okay. Which one do you want to get rid of? Maya, which one do you want to get rid of? X's or y's? Y's. Okay, is there a reason why you want to get rid of y's first? No, you just wanted to get rid of the y's first. I like getting rid of the y's first. Here's why. This is a negative, that's a positive. So they're already opposites. They'll already add to 0 once this number is the same number. What number do 4 and 5 have in common? What number do I need to make that? 20. Right? So how do I make this one 20? What am I going to multiply this whole thing by?
-5.
-5? They're already opposite. So I'm gonna multiply it by +5. Because they're already, this is negative and this is positive. Remember, these need to be opposite signs. Okay? So I could multiply this by 5, and then if I did that, what would I multiply this one by? -4, because that would make this a -20.
Oh, it's already positive.
They're already opposites. Okay? So if I got rid of my y's, I would start with that. All right? I'm going to erase for a second, and we'll go back and we'll decide which one we want to do as a class. If I got rid of my x's, what number would have to be in front here? What number do 7 and 3 have in common? 21. So how would I make this 21? What would I have to multiply by? 3. Okay. What would I have to multiply this one by? Here's where it has to be -7. Okay? Why does this have to be a -7 or that have to be a -3 to make them opposite? Okay? It doesn't matter which one you get rid of. What matters is that these numbers end up being the same number and opposite of each other. So I'm going to stick with getting rid of the y's. Is that okay? But know that it doesn't matter which ones you get rid of. Okay? All right. So because we don't have to worry about my signs, I'm going to go back to multiplying this by 5 and this by 4. If you can do that, if there's opposite signs with your x's and y's, those are the ones you should probably get rid of, because that way you don't miss multiplying a negative times a negative and forgetting to make it a positive. Okay? Or forgetting it to make it a negative, for that matter. So we do better with multiplying by positive numbers, so that if you can do that, do that. What are you going to get when you distribute this? So we're going to rewrite this whole equation. So we're going to have 35x minus 20y, right? Don't forget to multiply the last term. What is 5 times -42? What? -210. Okay. 4 times 3? 12. 4 times 5? Positive 20. You want that. You want these to be opposite of each other. And then 4 times 29? 160. Now what am I going to do with these two? Add them together. So when I eliminate, I'm going to do this when I have x and y on the same side. I forgot to fill this in. Of the equal sign. Or they're stacked on each other like they are. Okay? And I need to make sure that one of my x's are opposite of each other, or my y's are opposite of each other, and add them together. Okay? If you need to add that to your notes, add that to your notes. Okay? All right. So now, when I add these together, what's going to happen? 35x plus 47x. This will 0. What are we equal to?
-94.
Negative 94 is important because we want to have the correct, good. Okay, I'm going to divide by 47. And x is equal to -2. Here's what's important, people. Here's what's important, people. Make sure you write this down. The number one error that you guys make when you cancel this out is you don't write your x or your y here. And then when you write your answer, or when you substitute back in, you forget that that is the x value. And then you give me a flipped answer, and then you end up getting the wrong y, or you're getting the wrong x. Okay? So make sure to pull that x down. So my answer, I've got a -2 here. All right. Now what do I do to find out what my y is? What do I do to find out what my y is? Okay. Could I do it in the 7x one? Sure. I can pick whichever equation I want, the top one or the bottom one, and I'm going to take my -2 and I'm going to plug it in for my x, and I'm going to solve. You're going to get the same y value no matter what if you do the correct math. Okay? So, again, I'm going to change colors here. So I'll go with Brooklyn's idea, and I'll do the 3x. You know what? I'm going to write down the equation first. 3x plus 5y equals 29. And again, I could use the 7x minus 4y equals -42. No problem. I'm going to plug my -2 in for my x, and then I'm going to do the math. Solve for y. Do the math and tell me what you get. Let's double check the work. Okay, you should have got y equals 7. If you did not get y equals 7, again, we write our answer as an ordered pair. If you did not get y equals 7, raise your hand and I will come around to help you. On the back, you have 6 problems to do. Okay? Identify which method you think you're going to use, and then start doing your work. For the graphing one, if you have a graphing one, you're going to have to use your own graph paper. If you need graph paper, let me know. Okay? Because we didn't provide you graphs. So, questions on which we're using and why? Any questions?